Some famous aircraft have never seen the success of the famous 777 or the Airbus A320. They were doomed and never made it to the top because of safety-related issues or simply because of low interest from the airlines. In this video, you're going to discover the top 10 most unsuccessful commercial aircraft ever built. You will hear some names several times during this video, so stick with me until the end if you want to find them out. Make sure to subscribe to my channel and give this video a small like because it greatly helps out the channel. All that said and done, let's get started. Number 10. The Airbus A340. Initially, the A340 was a success, and Airbus sold 100 units to famous carriers like Lufthansa, Air France, and Cathay Pacific. However, as time went on and fuel costs rose, many carriers realized that the engines on the A340 burnt an incredible amount of fuel. The A340-600 could carry 370 passengers, a large amount for this size of aircraft. The plane was renowned for being sluggish, and compared to the Boeing 777 was worse in nearly every way. It had a higher cost per seat and a slower cruising speed. Passengers did not enjoy the A340 either, as it would take noticeably longer to get airborne and reach cruising altitude. Number 9. The Boeing 757. The Boeing 757 wasn't necessarily an awful plane, it just had some poorly thought out features. The Boeing 757 arrived on the market at a strange time and didn't seem to really have a place. Longer routes were usually operated by wider-bodied jets with more capacity like the Boeing 747. Shorter routes were mostly occupied by turboprops and Boeing 737 aircraft. The 757 was a mixture of the two. It has a sleek, narrow-bodied design, but was about 15 meters longer than a 737. Unfortunately, this didn't fit in with demand at the time, and sales all but dried up by the year 2000. Now there is a demand for a middle-range market jet, and some airlines who did use the 757 are looking for a suitable replacement. Although Boeing has no concrete plans for a rejuvenated 757 program, this may be something to look for in the future. For the moment, airlines are heavily buying the Airbus A321. That is perfectly suitable for their needs. Number 8. The Airbus A380. There is no doubt that the A380 has incredibly impressive performance figures. It is also fairly reliable, more so than the Boeing 747. So why has it made this list? One of the main problems is infrastructure. There are few airports in the world with the capabilities of receiving an A380. They have a massive load, so need a long runway with very strong and expensive concrete. Furthermore, the A380 guzzled fuel and is very uneconomical. Carriers simply opted to go for twin-engine jets like the Boeing 777 and 787. Another big issue of this aircraft is the maintenance cost that was incredibly high and demanded a lot of work. The demise of the A380 came after it was in production for 12 years, cementing its place in the history books as one of the shortest aircraft in production. Number 7. The Saab 340. The Saab 340 is a Swedish-produced twin turboprop plane designed to seat 40 to 60 passengers. Most turboprops are extremely noisy, but the Saab 340 took this to another level. Most passengers who board the aircraft report high cabin noise and little sound dampening from the outside. The aircraft was introduced in 1983 as a regional carrier designed to penetrate Europe's market. The intense competition robbed Saab of many expected sales, and the aircraft was put out of production in 1998. Saab has enjoyed some success in pitching the aircraft as a large private jet perfect for groups of people and is now operated by 34 companies around the world. Number 6. The ATR 72-600. This twin turboprop aircraft was designed and produced by the Italian and French ATR. The aircraft has smaller problems like landing instability and frequent system malfunctions. The worst and most catastrophic of its problems is the complete loss of control when in a steep bank. In one case, Norwegian investigators concluded that the pilots were aiming to escape severe icing conditions and entered a steep bank. The aircraft subsequently lost complete control and entered a spin, but thankfully, none of the 40 occupants was harmed. Of the 508 planes that were built, 11 have crashed and resulted in the deaths of over 190 people. The majority of these instances are the result of adverse weather and poor flying conditions. This, combined with the fact that ATR 72-600s are extremely unstable in these conditions, leads to fatal consequences. Number 5. The Tupolev 204. The Tupolev 204 was Russia's take on the Boeing 757 and has competitive performance and fuel economy. However, the quality of construction was so bad that the FAA refused to certify the aircraft to fly in America. The Tu-204 was also not liked by the public as the plane sat so high off the ground that passengers struggled to get on and off it. Additionally, there were rarely many stairs that could reach the cabin and many few jet bridges compatible with the plane. This plane was a commercial flop too. When the aircraft was ready to be put into service, many Russian carriers were strapped for cash due to the downfall of the Soviet Union. They opted to fly older planes until they were financially able to buy newer ones. When this time came, they mostly decided to buy newer and better aircraft like the A320 and Boeing 737. Number 4. The MD-80. The MD-80 is famous for its iconic silver livery and stubby nose in the American Airlines fleet. Some people love the MD-80 and the nostalgia it brings. Others hate it for its outdated design and would rather it be replaced with a more modern aircraft. Interestingly, the MD-80 is the loudest commercial jet in the United States by far, even for its relatively small size. It is the longest-serving plane in America, but this came to an end as few people could tolerate the fighter jet-like howl of its engines. The MD-80 had a very uncomfortable and unequipped cabin as well. Despite this, the MD-80 truly revolutionized American travel in the 1980s and gave so many the opportunity to see new places and experience new cultures. Number 3. The Boeing 737-200. The Boeing 737-200 was a disaster for many reasons. Firstly, it was extremely dangerous and had many technical problems. 1 in 3 of these aircraft produced had to be grounded for safety reasons. There have been so many crashes involving these aircraft that out of 1,096 built, 96 of them have crashed. Thankfully, Boeing has reclaimed most of these planes to upgrade their safety and fix the dangerous tendencies. One terrifying example of this plane's erratic nature caused devastation. On March 31, 1991, United Airlines Flight 585 crashed whilst attempting to land in Colorado Springs. Investigators concluded that on approach, the plane rolled right and pitched nose down into a vertical dive, killing 25 people. Number 2. The Ilyushin Il-62. Many have speculated that the Soviet-designed Il-62 was possibly an espionage design taken from its competitor, the VC-10. The design was unique as it had all 4 engines on the tailplane in 2 rows of 2. It seems that instead of improving the VC-10, Ilyushin thought that making the plane worse is the best way to hide the alleged copying going on. The result was an uncomfortable plane with serious engine and safety problems. The plane suffered from the random detonation of its thrust reversers and was not kept up to proper safety and maintenance standards. This left it with a whole host of problems, resulting in all carriers retiring their planes apart from North Korea's airline, Air Koryo. And here's our number 1 of this top 10 most unsuccessful aircraft ever built. If you've enjoyed the video so far, make sure to hit the like button and subscribe to my channel if you haven't done so far. Number 1. The Boeing 737 MAX. The 737 MAX crisis that Boeing found itself in was sparked by the crashes of 2 virtually new 737 MAX aircraft. In both cases, a single sensor failed. This caused the aircraft's new control system to send the plane into a terrifying nosedive. The pilots were left fighting the control system and the electronic trim control. As a result of the tragedies in Indonesia and Ethiopia, many 737 MAX aircraft were reclaimed by Boeing. The manufacturer advised all the other Boeing 737 MAX operators to not fly the plane until further notice. Hundreds of canceled orders meant Boeing had a record loss of $20 billion in the year 2020. After a staggering 22-month suspension, the 737 MAX has been recertified by the FAA. Many other authorities have followed after performing their own test flights, and the aircraft even started flying again in Europe. Because the problem wasn't complicated enough, Boeing has discovered some electrical circuit flaws in the 737 MAX design, and about 16 companies have been advised, again, not to fly the airliner until Boeing comes with a clear solution regarding this issue. Is it due to Boeing's reckless decisions or simply bad luck? It seems that the aircraft is cursed and struggles to make it back to the skies. Which of these aircraft do you think are the worst of the list? Let me know by leaving a comment down below. If you want to watch more aviation top 10s, click on any of the videos you see on your screen right now. And don't forget to subscribe to my channel to never miss an upload. Thank you all for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.